The Bills and Rams play the NFL season opener tonight. The Rams won their first Super Bowl less than 7 months ago, and the Bills are a popular pick to win it this year. ESPN's Joe Buck believes Buffalo deserves the attention.
I think they are clearly the best team in the AFC East, and then whoever comes out of that AFC West, I think, is going to be a tough team to beat. But yeah, I think they're worthy of the hype, and then as you guys know, you have to go out there and do it.
Joe Buck on KJ and Max. Jets offensive lineman Dwayne Brown misses practice for the second straight day. He's having tests on his injured shoulder. The Jets open up Sunday against the Ravens. Today in St. Louis, Adam Wainwright started on the mound for the Cardinals with catcher Yadier Molina behind the plate. The 324th time they've teamed up to start a game, tying a major league record that was set in 1975 by the Tigers' Mickey Lolich and Bill Freehan. The Nationals lead the Cardinals 5-4 in the seventh. Yadier Molina has 2 home runs in the game.
Brought to you by Capital One Auto Navigator, where you can find a car, get pre-qualified instantly, and see your real monthly payment without impacting your credit score. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Terms and conditions apply. Find out more at CapitalOne.com/Auto Navigator.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us, AFR. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusu. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Ryan Clark in 15 minutes. How does LSU fix its third down defense woes? Going to ask RC that in about 15 minutes from right now. We'll look across the field for Saturday's game, take a glimpse at the Southern Jags. Jim Kleinpeter is working for the Advocate, covering Southern. He'll be with us next hour. And Mike Triplett in hour number 3. Fantasy Blitz later this hour. Before you set your roster, get your fantasy questions in. A ton to do, and glad to have you aboard with us here. The Saints injury report is going to be posted soon, and we should get an update from on Michael Thomas' status and a lot of other guys. Real quick, can you play Dennis Allen number 2? This morning, yesterday evening, Dennis Allen was asked about Michael Thomas, if he was on track to play.
Is he on track to maybe play this week after just coming back?
Yeah, look, we'll see. You know, I don't want to get into a lot of specifics. We'll see where he's at, but certainly he's progressing.
Michael Thomas was asked the same thing, and he was very coy and said that's the goal, but wouldn't go so far as to confirm it. So we'll wait and see, but the injury report should be out soon. The Saints did make a roster move ahead of the opener against the Falcons, another roster move. And this one has me a little on edge. So the Saints signed Wyatt Davis off of the Giants practice squad. If you don't know Wyatt Davis, an offensive lineman, he went to Ohio State, shocker. He was drafted by the Vikings, found himself on the Giants practice squad, and now the Saints have signed him off the practice squad to the active roster. Before I talk about Davis specifically, let's discuss the necessity of signing Davis. So he was waived. He was in Minnesota for camp. He was waived. And the Giants signed him to their practice squad. So he cleared waivers, and the Giants signed him to their practice squad. So the Saints, if they wanted him, could have put in a waiver claim, didn't, and could have signed him to their practice squad, didn't. They did sign Tanner Owen to the practice squad, as we know. Or I should say they actually claimed him off of waivers. The undrafted free agent who had spent preseason with the Bills. So they have Tanner Owen. and they got Calvin Throckmorton as their reserve guards. Now, Owen was on the injury report with an illness Wednesday, so did not practice. I'll also remind you that Landon Young is out with a hip injury, and Eric McCoy was a limited participant in Wednesday's practice, or at least on the Wednesday injury report. The Saints signing Wyatt Davis isn't necessarily that they love the player in the way that sometimes you go put a waiver claim in on a player that you really like and you want on your roster, but they needed an offensive lineman. Now, I don't know if it's because Tanner Owen's sick or if there's something going on with Eric McCoy or whatever the case is, but for some reason they needed an offensive lineman this week, which is why they went and signed Wyatt Davis. And I am praying today that the Saints' starting 5 offensive linemen are okay. I hope this is Tanner Owen's sick and they need a reserve guard. I hope that's all this is. But there are other issues that have popped up, like Eric McCoy being limited. We know that James Hurst had the injury, which kept him out for a chunk of camp in the preseason that he suffered up in Green Bay. Andres Pete and Ryan Ramczyk are coming off of seasons where they were injured, but seem okay now, which is the good thing. You see, I know Calvin Throckmorton can play. If they need to go to Throckmorton at one of the guard spots, I know he can play. I'm not worried about it. If McCoy is out, and he's not, by the way, I'm going to be very clear. I'm playing through a hypothetical here, okay? If something were to happen to McCoy, if he wasn't available, we know what would happen. Ruiz would slide over to center. Because that was Will Clapp a year ago. Well, Will Clapp's now playing for the Chargers, so you don't have your backup center. Your backup center is your right guard. So if Ruiz slides over to center and then Throckmorton would go to right guard, that makes sense, and that's fine and good, and you feel good. But at that point, if you need depth after that, and Tanner Owen is out, and again, this is all, again, I have the luxury on radio playing out the hypothetical, okay? Let's hope none of this matters. But you're seeing why it could matter if you have to tap into the depth. If Tanner Owen isn't available, this is why you sign Wyatt Davis, most likely. And, you know, the fact that they haven't even played a game and I'm having to have this issue or this conversation is a little concerning. And maybe it's just that I'm spooked because last year, 4 of your 5 starters missed time on the offensive line a year ago. You were so snake-bitten and injury-prone a year ago that I feel like you have to have this conversation. Now, that's what necessitated going to get depth and signing Wyatt Davis. As far as Davis himself, he's a really interesting player, and I would actually say that he's the Vikings version of Stanley Jean-Baptiste. I know that's not going to actually resonate or make you comfortable. It shouldn't. He was a 3rd-round pick out of Ohio State in 2021 to Minnesota. He was drafted to be their starting right guard, but he lost the job in camp to Oli Udoh, who was a former 6th-round pick and just beat him out in camp. He did not play a single offensive snap as a rookie, played in just 6 games, all on special teams, and then he was waived this year in 2022. So he was taken in the 3rd round, lasted 1 season with the team that drafted him, and was waived in camp going into his 2nd NFL season. This guy was a 3rd-round pick. It's a lot like Stanley Jean-Baptiste, quite honestly. And by the way, part of the reason they were able to waive him is because they drafted Ed Ingram. So Ed Ingram from LSU is holding down that spot along with Oli Udoh. So that's why Wyatt Davis was expendable. So tip of the cap to Ed Ingram, who went and stole a dude's job. But also, Minnesota didn't sign him to their practice squad. Could have, didn't. He wasn't claimed off a waiver, so Minnesota could have signed him back. Didn't. And he ended up signing on with the Giants onto their practice squad, where the Saints then, of course, signed him now to the active roster. He was a phenomenal college offensive lineman at Ohio State. He redshirted his first year, but in 2019, he was a consensus All-American. In 2020, he was a unanimous All-American. He was on the Big Ten All-Decades team. He was the Big Ten Offensive Lineman of the Year in 2020. He was a great, not good, a great college offensive lineman. Went round 3 to Minnesota and just got beat out for a job and couldn't play on Sundays. Maybe the Saints can maximize this player, and we know the Saints love them some Ohio State players. The pipeline is there. Right now, Lattimore, Olave, Bradley Roby, Michael Thomas, Nick Vannett, Pete Werner, and Wyatt Davis. That makes 7 Ohio State players on the Saints roster right now. And, of course, Malcolm Jenkins just retired, or it would be 8. So, yes, The Saints have an affinity for Ohio State players. That is undeniable. They like clearly the program, the caliber of player they get, the way they're coached, whatever it is. The Saints like Ohio State players, and maybe that's one of the things that led them here to sign Wyatt Davis. My hope is Wyatt Davis never has to see the field for the Saints. Everybody's healthy. They're all fine and good. But right here on the cusp of the season starting, when you were so snake-bitten with injuries a year ago and you already feel like you're making moves to get depth on the offensive line is a bit concerning. Again, the injury report will come out. Keep an eye on it as we get closer to kickoff on Sunday. But the Saints have added Wyatt Davis. We do not know yet, right now, what the corresponding move is. They've added Wyatt Davis to the 53, so someone's going to have to be cut off the 53-man roster. We'll see who that is, and when we know, we'll share it with you. All right, it is after further review. NFL season gets kicked off tonight. Fired up for it. It is the defending champion Rams hosting the Bills. Do we have that game, by the way? Or is that on? Please check for me. We need a schedule of what we're going to have here on our air. So that's tonight with the Rams and the Bills. And we'll talk about it with Ryan Clark coming up here in just a few minutes. Primarily, though, we'll talk with RC about the Tigers. One of his thoughts on Jay Daniels' performance, what's going on with Kayshon Boutte, and certainly want RC's thoughts on how LSU manages their third down defensive issues that bit them against Florida State. We'll get to all that. Ryan Clark joins us next on a Thursday edition of AFR.
AFR.
Hey, if you need a place to watch Thursday night football tonight, the NFL kickoff, you can always get by Pluckers, Nicholson, or Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. Remember, tonight and every Thursday, all you can eat boneless buffalo bites. This is chicken breast. It's all white meat chicken, breaded, fried, tossed in your favorite wing sauce, and you can eat as many of them as you want all night long, every Thursday at Pluckers. Nicholson just south of campus, Bluebonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. You got Rams, Bills tonight. The NFL kickoff is happening. If you need a place to watch, get by Pluckers. $2 off Dos Equis mugs tonight and $1 off margaritas. So great drink specials. Of course, you got the all-you-can-eat boneless buffalo bites, and you got NFL football tonight at Pluckers. Nicholson just south of campus, Bluebonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. Dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. It's at Pluckers, where there's always something going on every night of the week. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
They said I was small, weak, said my heart wasn't strong enough. But I showed them what heart looked like, again and again and again. Mom got me the right care, the right doctors with Blue Cross coverage. Don't let people tell you who you are. Show them the right card, the right care.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. It's time to talk Tigers with former LSU safety Ryan Clark. Presented by DraftKings, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today.
Sports NFL season kicks off tonight. Great opportunity to download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Have some fun. We appreciate our friends at DraftKings for bringing us our convo with RC every Thursday. RC, how are you, man?
Good, brother. How you doing?
Doing awesome, man. Saturday or Sunday night, rather. Are you over it? Are you over it yet? You're pretty aggressive. You're pretty aggressive on Twitter, man. I saw you had
so here's what's funny, bro. People thought I had like a bad case of CTE. They were telling me, they were like, your life is going to be okay. You're doing better than 99. I was like, no, guys, I don't legitimately hate my life. I hate the fact that we lost this game because we got an extra point blocked. Like, I was like, guys, I'm okay.
The tweet read, like, words in succession, like, up and down, I hate my life. And so, obviously, it was, it got a little bit of play. Something you did not hate, however, was Jay Ward. I saw you tweet that Jay Ward was a monster. Obviously, you played 13 years, safety in the NFL. What did you see from that's a guy that Brian Kelly raved about all throughout camp. What did you see?
Just a physical run and hit safety. I think that's lost a lot of times now in this game because we've kind of legislated out physicality. But if you watch how he hustled, if you watch how he continued to run to the ball, the way he finished on every play, it's funny because Jordan texted me during the game and he was like, man, he's like, Jay Ward is unbelievable. And I was like, I know. And Jordan and I were kind of going back about it, which is what made me tweet it. I think that, you know, when you watch a guy, and I think about when he came in as a corner, and obviously the year he got there was Stingley's year and all those guys. But I remember Corey Raymond, the former DB coach, telling me that Jay had an opportunity or the makings to be a really, really good safety. And, you know, now you're starting to see that. And so I just enjoy the way that he played the game. And I think when you watch somebody play that hard, play that physical, it shows you, like, you know how they have those saying, like, you know, tell me you're a football player without telling me you're a football player, whatever. Like, it shows you how much he loves this game by the way that he plays it.
RC, you did also, because I was following some of your tweets during the game, and one of the big questions people had was third down defense. I mean, 11 of 17, Florida State. That was a huge difference in the game. You tweeted so much off coverage for LSU on third and short. At some point, you have to challenge. Is it that simple? Or let me ask you a bigger picture question. Based on what you saw, one game sample, how does LSU fix its third down defense?
Well, I mean, you know, when Mason goes down, that hurts, right?
Yeah, sure.
You lose a great interior rusher, a guy that's an enforcer for 3 downs. I think that's one thing. Obviously, Ojulari is also a little banged up, and so he may have not been as effective as you'd like him in the rush. But, you know, when you think about, and obviously there are new guys all over the field and all over the secondary. But when you think about LSU being great in the secondary, and you think about the playmakers they've had, you know, these are guys who do enjoy press coverage. These are guys who do challenge. And I think Greg Brooks in the slot is the guy that can do that. Obviously, the corners gave up a couple of deep balls, but I think, they're big and physical corners. And I think when you have 3rd and 3 to 5, like, you can't just sit in off coverage, allow people to get to the sticks and catch the football. You can't allow a team to also stay in front of the sticks, as Florida State did, because they were able to run the ball on 1st and 2nd down. Like, even during the broadcast, you heard the commentators say, in these 2nd and long situations, Florida State was running the football to put themselves in 3rd and manageable. And then once you're in 3rd and manageable, I think it really opens up the playbook for an offensive coordinator, and we watch those things happen. So I think it's a multitude of things they have to do better. Sometimes being better on 1st and 2nd down makes you better on 3rd down. But I do also believe they have to challenge and get into the faces of some of these wide receivers and try to throw the timing of passing plays off.
I'm going to ask you about the offense in a second, but defensively, is I'm going to say, is it fixable? I mean, you can obviously always improve, but how much of it do you think is scheme? How much is personnel? And one person in particular that I did want to ask you about is Micah Baskerville, who it's like the last 2 years, RC, we've seen Baskerville come in like late in the season and sort of assert himself in a linebacker group that really needed that, that boost. Now, Damone Clark was fantastic last year, but certainly in 2020. Would that make a difference, or is the improvement more just timing, reps?
Definitely. Definitely, I think that he can make a difference. But I believe the other part of it is like all of these guys are new. There's so many new starters at linebacker in the secondary, and I think it's hard to have some sort of chemistry or have some sort of understanding of what the best calls are for each player or what the best calls are for your collective group. And obviously Major and Jay were both back there at safety, last year. But for the most part, there's so many new and moving pieces. And I do think you can improve. And also, too, Sconey, like we're talking about this, like they gave up 50 points.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? And so I think we still have to keep that in perspective, that because the defense did play at least well enough, there was an opportunity for a 99-yard drive that potentially gave you an opportunity to tie the score. And so they weren't awful, but I just think you can be better and also get your offense more possessions if you're getting off on 3rd down.
Ryan Clark is with us. He, of course, on Twitter at RealRClark25. You can check out The Pivot as well, the podcast, either however you get your podcasts or on YouTube. Latest episode was with Leonard Fournette. Watched it Tuesday night. It was fantastic. I did want to ask you, when you all do those episodes, RC, is it like live to tape, or do you all have to do post-editing where you cut out some of the content, or is that the full run of the interview?
Most of it, like we've actually gotten better at it. We sucked at first a little bit, and so our producer would edit it a little more. Especially the training camp interviews and podcasts have been so short, obviously because you're asking someone for their time in probably the busiest points of the year. Like all of those have been in their entirety.
Okay.
And, obviously, we'll always ask a guy or his agent or his manager, okay, we'll send you the cut so you can watch it. We've had people, kind of pull some things out that we just, we didn't want to make them look bad. Hey,
sure.
You said this, we're not sure you really want that aired. Let us send it to you so you can see it. So we've had people where we've taken, wanted to take care of them, but also sometimes, some agents will say, okay, we don't really want that in it. But the Leonard interview, it's so crazy because we did it the same day we did Byron. And that was very early on in camp. And we just all kept saying it's not a training camp interview. And what we meant by that was like it ended up showing so much substance of Leonard, and I think such great conversation and insight to who he was as a man, which is why we held it so long and we wanted to make sure we put it out on a Tuesday so people really could digest it and, kind of get to know him a little better.
That's true. It was not that's not a 2022 Tampa Bay Bucks interview.
Right.
That was a Leonard Fournette interview. It was very, very well done. Hey, I want to jump back to LSU for a quick second. And you and I talked last week about Jayden Daniels. You obviously, so we've talked about this a bunch. You got to see him at Arizona State when he played with Jordan. And I think we all assumed he was going to start. He did. Assess his first start at LSU.
It's one of those crazy things. I'm actually on a group chat with my fraternity brothers that I left the conversation on because they just complained the whole night.
That is why my phone notifications go off during LSU football games. I do not want anybody's negativity drowning out my game day experience.
Bro, Sconey, I completely left it. And it's like, oh, he runs too much and this and that. And I do think, and I even actually said to them, I was like, for what it's worth, Jayden is very risk averse. Like before forcing a pass or throwing it in the coverage, he will hold it or he will take off running. And last I checked, you kind of don't want a quarterback that's going to put the ball in harm's way.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that was part of it. I also think we had some issues on the front line, but I feel like there were times he missed some guys. There were some opportunities. I felt like he had to get the ball out of his hand. But I also feel and obviously we don't know what Nuss could have done if he played. I also feel with Jayden being Jayden, it's the only reason we were even in the game. Yep. Some of the plays he was able to create with his legs, some of the rushes he was able to avoid, especially when we weren't running the football well. And obviously Kayshawn didn't get the opportunities you like someone of his caliber to get. But I also don't see another game where that football player drops 3 balls.
For 2.5 quarters, Jayden Daniels was the offense, and you're right about Kayshawn as well.
Yeah, he's not going to do that again. It's so funny. The slot fade that the guy ends up breaking up from Florida State in the end zone. And the commentator says, play-by-play guy, whatever. It's like it's a little underthrown. And I was like, well, where the hell you want him to throw it in the front row? you know what I mean? I was like, it's the end zone, bro. But when
it's
you
the
think
corner
about,
of the end zone.
Right. But when you think about, when you think of the Jamars and the Justin Jeffersons, which is the type of players Kayshawn is being compared to, they make those catches. Don't get me wrong. Joe Burrow has Hall of Fame written all over him. He's that good. He's that tough. He's that smart. But if you don't think it helped that the receivers were named Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and Terrace Marshall, then you're crazy. That's how he got to 60 touchdowns. And I think, we're going to need some playmakers to step up on the outside and help, whether it's Jayden or Nuss, help step up and make some plays. I think, he runs a skinny in the red zone, and he doesn't get his head around fast enough to catch the football, and he's wide open. I think that's just a timing thing and a continuity thing, a chemistry thing. But that play changes the game if you get 6 instead of having to kick a field goal.
A field goal that was blocked.
Exactly.
You would go into halftime up 10-7 as opposed to down 7-3, giving Florida State the football. But I did want to ask you about that play, RC, was because the ball that Jayden threw, it literally hit Kayshawn in the 7. But he obviously wasn't looking for it. Like, I hate to say, like, whose fault was that? But, like, what happened on that play? Was it just what you said, as simple as Kayshawn just didn't get his head around?
Yeah, it's one of those things. You don't want to say what happened because you don't even know.
You don't know the play call, right?
You definitely don't want to, say Kayshawn or Jayden did anything wrong. You can't be, 100% sure. But it was just one of those weird deals where it almost seemed like Kayshawn didn't even realize he was a part of the route tree. That in any way he was a part of the progression. And I can't believe your preseason All-American wide receiver doesn't think he's going to, isn't a part of your mindset and making sure you get him the ball. Jayden seemed very definitive about going to him first in the progression. He was obviously wide open. And it's kind of one of those things that's unexplainable to know why he doesn't even look for the ball. But it was just such a huge play. He walks in there. And I think just from a momentum standpoint, obviously the scoreboard, it really changes, what the game is at that time.
He is Ryan Clark. I could talk to you all day, man. We're going to let you scoop, but I do want to pick Rams, Bills. Who do you like tonight?
I picked the Bills to win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I think the Bills are that good But, man, it's so hard to beat a team on this, like, Thursday night celebration. So I'm going to pick the Rams. My first game in Pittsburgh was actually the Thursday night after they won the Super Bowl in 2005. And it was electric. Like, we weren't even that dang good that year. You know, we ended up being a 500 football team. But that night, no matter who we played, they would not have beaten us. And the same thing when we played Tennessee in the first game in 2009. And so I'm going to pick the Rams, but that doesn't mean that the Bills are still my pick for the Super Bowl.
He's on Twitter at RealRClark25. Give him a follow. Be sure to go subscribe up on YouTube or podcast on The Pivot as well. If you haven't done so yet, check out Leonard Fournette's interview this week. RC, you're the best, man. We appreciate you.
May have a good one, brother.
All right, RC. Our chats with RC brought to you by DraftKings, official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. Of course, you can bet on tonight's ballgame with the Rams and the Bills. That's DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. All right, it is after further review. We'll go around the SEC. Speaking of season opener, we will have the Fantasy Blitz in 15 minutes from right now. Our buddy Darin Tietgen will be with us. We will, before you set your roster, make sure you check with the guys at whotostart.com, Darin Tietgen in 15 minutes, so you can start to line up your fantasy questions right now. Email us, tweet us, jump on the bike for YouTube chat, or text us in the 225 at 396-4400. Around the SEC is next.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time, or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Check out River City's 1 Hour Air. If your home central AC is acting up, you know what to do. Look for the big yellow van and truck with the giant clock on the side. They're all over town because they've been doing it right for more than 40 years now. That's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001. As a matter of fact, they were at my house yesterday. Patrick, one of the technicians, was at my house yesterday for our seasonal maintenance on our AC. It's something I've done that has undeniably extended the life of my unit, which is still the original unit on our home, which was built in 1997. So you're talking about 25 years. But because over the last 6 years we've been in that home, we've maintained, we've done our seasonal maintenance. It's continued to extend the life of that unit. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
As a community bank, B1 Bank invests in relationships with the people and businesses we proudly represent. Our B1 bankers are here to help simplify the complicated, understand your needs, and make managing your finances easier. At B1 Bank, we offer an array of solutions to help simplify your transaction needs. B1 Bank, one highly personal banking experience. Visit us online at b1bank.com for more information.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance. This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Oh, big Swagoo. I just looked up on NFL Live. Swagoo's Super Bowl prediction. Chargers beating the Saints. Swagoo has the Hoodats in the Super Bowl. They're becoming a trendy pick, man. We're going to give you our picks in hour number 3. Division winners, AFC, NFC winners, and Super Bowl. But Peter King have the Saints winning the NFC. Swagoo's got the Saints winning the NFC. The Madden simulation have the Saints winning the Super Bowl. They are becoming a very, very trendy pick, man.
You change Swagoo's prediction of the winner there, though. I mean, come on now.
Respect. I get it. Pick. Do what
Chargers
you
are
want.
good.
I get Chargers are fine. But it's almost like picking the Saints now isn't even it's not even a surprise. More people. It was more of a surprise talking about the odds yesterday where the Saints are plus 4,000. Take a flyer there, man. You got to get into the tournament to have a chance. So if you're betting on a team that you think is going to make the playoffs, it's a good bet. So, all right, we'll do our picks coming up. Brett Yormark, the Big 12 Conference Commissioner, he is not being bashful about expansion. He was speaking Wednesday during a visit to Cincinnati, which, of course, is a future Big 12 member. And he told reporters there that the league is interested in adding members from the Pacific time zone because he wants the league to be in all 4 time zones in the U.S., from West Virginia, obviously the Central time zone, where they are presently in the Mountain time zone, and adding, or what they will, obviously, in adding BYU, and then the Pacific time zone is what they're looking for next. So make no mistake, Big 12 is looking to target Pac-12 schools for potential expansion. Both Pac-12 and Big 12 conferences have elected to accelerate their discussions with ESPN and Fox about their new media rights agreements, which I can certainly understand. If you're doing that right now, you're trying to get ahead of possibly being poached. But as we've already seen, media rights deals haven't stopped expansion from and realignment from happening. And it won't in this instance either. My guess is the Big 12 is the one that's going to, or excuse me, the Pac-12 is the conference that's going to be left on its heels, because it makes the most sense that valuable properties seek greener pastures, like Oregon and Washington and Arizona State, and they likely head to either to a much expanded Big 10 or joining a super-sized Big 12. All right, it's after further review. We're brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com. Michelli.com. I'm going to go around the SEC in just a second. Fantasy Blitz is coming at you. But if you're looking for a career change here in 2022, how about applying for a job with a company that has been in business for 75 years? Stable, relying on its people, valuing its people. That's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. You can go to the website at Michelli.com. You can hit the careers tab right there at the top. You can apply right now for any of their jobs at Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lake Charles offices are all hiring right now and looking for great people. At Michelli, of course, they are your partner for weighing and measurement equipment services since 1947. ISO 17025 accreditation is available. You weigh or measure something. They sell, service, and rent the products you use to weigh and measure. Check them out online at Michelli.com. Michelli.com. Okay, it is after further review. Do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Nick Saban shared some pretty good news for the Tide as they head to Austin this weekend. Preseason All-SEC tight end Cameron Latu will play Saturday at Texas. Saban telling reporters that Latu, who missed all of preseason camp because of an undisclosed illness, he is 100% healthy and ready to roll this week against Texas. Latu set a school record for touchdown receptions by a tight end a year ago with 8.
The Florida Gators.
Florida's getting healthier after weeks of not participating due to an undisclosed injury. Sophomore cornerback Jaden Hill is practicing. According to Billy Napier, could return to game action soon. Hill has a lengthy injury history. Former four-star prospect. He missed all of 2021 with a torn ACL. Also tore his ACL his final year in high school, but in between, played in 10 games as a true freshman in 2019 and all 12 contests with 5 starts in 2020.
The Auburn Tigers.
And Auburn reserve wide receiver J.J. Evans has jumped into the transfer portal after he did not see the field in the opener against Mercer. As a matter of fact, 3 years there on the Plains, he has not seen the field yet. 6'2", 218-pounder. He was part of Auburn's 2020 recruiting class. He was a 4-star prospect, a top 200 player in the country, but has not seen the field yet for Auburn and won't, as he is now in the transfer portal. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy, Trey Beal, and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. They're online at gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales, service after the sale, 45 years in business. That's Gulf Coast Office Products, and they've been in business for so long because they provide a great service. They're in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, on the North Shore, and in Lafayette. So no matter where your business is, they can get to you same day or worst case scenario, 10 a.m. the next day. All about making you more efficient. That's Gulf Coast Office Products, gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. We appreciate y'all for being here with us. As always, Thursday show is brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. We're going to knock out a quick break, come back, we'll do our Fantasy Blitz, which, of course, if you need personalized fantasy football advice, the guys at whotostart.com, that's what they do, specifically helping with your team as you're setting your roster. So before you set your roster, check with the guys at whotostart.com. You can email us, tweet us at Matt Moscona.
Hey, Twitter world.
You can jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat and the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, or you can always text your question in the 225 at 396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. We are going to preview the Southern Jags in 30 minutes from right now after their 86-0 whipping of something called Florida Memorial. Mike Triplett in hour number 3. We got a ton to do, a lot of football talk, and glad you're with us here on this Thursday edition of AFR.
AFR.
Every single day, I tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, and I tell you better coverage for less money. And sometimes I like to illustrate that. There was an AFR listener named Robert. Robert and his wife have been with Liberty Mutual since 1968. 1968. It's more than 50 years with Liberty Mutual. Heard the ad, called Insurance Network of Louisiana. Home, auto, umbrella, couple of policy, couple of recreational vehicles, had really good coverage, but boy, were they overpaying. Robert saved $6,022 annually on his insurance. If you have not shopped to see if you are overpaying, you probably are. Let Insurance Network of Louisiana do it for free. Better coverage for less money. 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana Products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite has more taste and...
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. After further review, this is the Fantasy Football Blitz.
Do you know who I am?
Powered by whotostart.com.
Who the hell are you?
whotostart.com.
Hello.
The Fantasy Football Blitz.
Who the buttons?
This is the Fantasy Football Blitz, powered by whotostart.com on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 104.5ESPN.com.
All right, let's do it. Week 1 of the 2022 NFL season officially kicks off tonight, which means you better have your fantasy roster set. Here to help is our old buddy Darin Tietgen from who2start.com. It's a numeral 2. who2start.com to give you personalized fantasy football advice. Get your questions in right now. D, how are you, man?
I'm doing good. This is like Christmas morning for a lot of us.
For all the fantasy football people, well, actually for all NFL people, no doubt, but for fantasy in particular. Let's look at tonight's game as we always do. A lot of new faces, a lot of absent faces. What do we look at for tonight?
Well, it looks like Matthew Stafford's elbow is good. So those of you starting Matthew Stafford should start him with confidence. Should be a higher scoring game. Obviously, the usual suspects like Josh Allen, you play him. But some things we're looking at, looks like Van Jefferson is out for the Rams. So let's see what Allen Robinson can do in that second wide receiver role for the Rams. And then we're looking at the split between the two running backs, between Akers and Henderson, see who gets the most touches there. And then in the slot for the Bills, the Rams have trouble covering opposing offensive slot receivers. So look for Isaiah McKenzie to have a really nice game, especially in PPR formats.
All right, you know the drill. You can get your questions in for Darin. Email us, tweet us. You can jump in the Buy For YouTube chat, or you can text me in the 225 at 396-4400, 396-4400. Get your questions in. Before we get to that, any sleepers or notables for this week in week 1?
Yeah, we've got some sleepers for you. One guy down the road there in New Orleans, Jameis Winston, should have a pretty nice game against the hapless Falcons. So if you're looking for a quarterback to plug in, Winston should have a pretty solid outing. Running back, Rashad Penny. Looks like Kenneth Walker is probably not going to play quite yet, so Penny should see a ton of carries on Monday Night Football. In terms of a wide receiver, a little bit deeper sleeper here. Looks like Michael Gallup is probably going to start the season on the bench for the Cowboys. So Jalen Tolbert, a rookie for the Cowboys, might be in that second wide receiver role for the Cowboys.
All right, let's get to your questions. Via text, Ryan Lewis said, "Good afternoon, gents. For a flex play in a PPR league, should I start Damian Harris, Robert Woods, or Devontae Parker?" So thanks, Ryan in Denham Springs. What you got? Who to start?
I think you go with Woods there. He's a veteran. It looks like the knee is probably okay. It's going to take Treylon Burks, the rookie, a couple of games to get up to speed. So look for Ryan Tannehill to rely on the veteran receiver. So I think Woods is your play there at flex.
Brennan Thibodeau said, "I only have one roster spot. Who should I cut? Who should I keep between Nyheim Hines and James Robinson for RB3?"
I think if you're in a PPR league, I'm keeping Hines. I'm hearing good things about him being integrated into that offense with Matt Ryan dumping the ball off to him. So I think if you're in a PPR format, you keep Hines. Maybe if you're in a standard format, you roll with Robinson because he's going to get more touchdowns.
Who to start for wide receiver 3? He's got Allen Robinson or Marquise Brown.
I do like Robinson. Don't get me wrong tonight, but I think Brown is the number one wide receiver until Hopkins gets back for the Cardinals. I think Brown's probably your play this week.
Rusty Ferreira has a tight end question. Who to start? He's got Kmet or Knox. Who to start?
I think Knox is probably your play this week. We have him as a top 10 tight end this week, and Kmet's just kind of on the outside looking in terms of the top 10. So Knox probably gets you a touchdown this week, although we do like Kmet long term for the Bears.
Okay. Trey Simmons, who to start? Jalen Waddle being banged up. Should I start Chris Olave or stick with Waddle?
I think you could probably stick with Waddle. Obviously monitor the news. If you're on Twitter, just keep on top of Twitter and see if there's anything changing. But right now, I think Waddle's probably good to go.
Derek Roussel, who to start? George Kittle or Taysom Hill, PPR?
This is another one I would watch closely. I heard that Kittle, I don't know if it's groin or hamstring, but something with the upper leg tweaked it in practice earlier this week. So if Kittle can't go, obviously you plug Hill in. But if Kittle plays, I think he's worth the risk of playing.
Jordan Lacombe, who to start? Jerry Jeudy or Chris Godwin?
Until Godwin shows me that he's back and healthy, I'm playing the other guy.
Interesting. He was running around, no knee brace on. Looks like he's going to be a go for Tampa, but it's going to be interesting to watch. Darin Tietgen's with us, who2start.com. It's a numeral 2, who2start.com. Get your personalized fantasy football questions answered. Dakota Dugas said, how do you think Devin Singletary will do tonight?
Probably pretty well. It's going to be a higher scoring game. Both defenses are pretty stout up the middle, but Singletary seems to be the number one for that Buffalo high-octane offense, and he'll catch a couple balls out of the backfield. He may not catch as many with James Cook now rostered for the Bills, but I think as a flex play, he's probably a decent choice.
So got a couple of minutes left. Kostas Plakitis, what do you think Gabe Davis will do in Buffalo this year?
Well, he's ascending of many draft boards. He had a very strong end to the season and an even stronger postseason last year. Obviously, Bills are a high-octane offense. He has a true number one on the other side, Stephon Diggs, to draw the coverage away from him. So he may not score as many touchdowns as last year, but I think the receptions go up. So definitely a solid number 2 or 3 wide receiver.
Dylan Atkinson, who to start, Dak or Trey Lance? It's 4-point per touchdown pass league.
Boy, I'd be tempted to play Lance just because of the matchup. Dak's that's going to be a shootout. They're really close. I think if you want to kind of roll the dice, so to speak, go with Lance. If you want a safer pick Dak.
David Rodrigue, who to start, Cam Akers or Miles Sanders?
Yeah, Sanders is another guy I'm watching closely just because of coming back from a nagging injury. So even with the timeshare that Akers is going to be in, I think Akers might be your safer play tonight against Buffalo.
Let's see if we can maybe get one or two more in. Marcus Eunice said Aaron Rodgers or Joe Burrow. Who to start?
Oh, man. hard to bench Rodgers, even with, I mean, he could be having JV, high school wide receivers out there, but Burrow's, Burrow's matchup against Pittsburgh is just a little bit too juicy. I'm probably sitting Aaron Rodgers, although it pains me to say so. I think you go with G.I. Burrow.
He is Darin Tietgen. Who2start.com. It's the numeral 2, who2start.com. We appreciate you for getting your questions in, and Darin will be with us every Thursday. Thanks, Dave.
Of course, Matt. Thank you.
All right, man. We'll check in with you again next week. It's after further review. Michael Thomas, record-breaking 2019. Can he top it? He thinks so. You'll hear from Michael Thomas next.
AFR.
We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEYE.com. Give them a shout over at the Williamson Eye Center. You can always go for that free, no-obligation LASIK consultation with Dr. Blake Williamson. Sit down and get your questions answered the way I did. Look, I had family members for years have LASIK, and I never went and had that consult because I was always scared of the laser, and I was always told LASIK wears off. We'll come to find out, as Dr. Blake explained to me in our consult, LASIK is the safest elective procedure in the history of mankind. And LASIK doesn't actually wear off. What happens for some is that your eye, different parts of the eye continue to age, but when you learn about what LASIK is, that is a permanent solution for that part of your eye. It's the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020. Go get your questions answered. Just have that consultation if you've ever thought about LASIK. One of the best decisions I ever made in my life. And Dr. Blake Williamson helped me along that path. Give him a call today, 924-2020.
Kids have staked out their place at Ochsner Medical Complex The Grove, where more than 30 pediatricians and pediatric specialists are all conveniently located under one roof, so you can spend less time driving and more time keeping your kids well. Yes! It's no wonder kids call dibs at The Grove. Ochsner Health Center for Children.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Rams and Bills to kick off the new NFL season tonight in Inglewood. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford had an off-season procedure on his right elbow to relieve pain. Adam says Stafford's elbow problems may be a non-story at this point.
When he had all the pain last year, he still was second in the NFL in touchdown passes. So that wasn't bad, and he feels better than he does. And talking to various people around the Rams, I'm like, how's he look at practice? Like, looks better than he ever has.
Adam Schefter on Key J and Max. The Bills are a 2.5-point favorite tonight. ESPN's FPI shows the Rams with a 56% chance to win. Buccaneers wideout Chris Godwin says he'll be a game-time decision for Sunday against the Cowboys. He's coming back from torn ligaments in his right knee. Tonight at the U.S. Open, the women's semifinals, Caroline Garcia against Ons Jabeur, followed by Iga Swiatek against Arina Sabalenka. Coverage at 7 Eastern on ESPN. And at 8 Eastern on ESPN2, the Sky and Sun play for a spot in the WNBA Finals.
When it comes to hiring, you don't need to be doing all the searching, screening, and interviewing yourself. What you need is Indeed, the end-to-end solution that makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire quality candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
I am sweating.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusu. And Mr. Toby Tom Plate. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Take a closer look at the Southern Jags in about 15 minutes. We do that every Thursday. We look across the field at LSU's opponent. Our buddy Jim Kleinpeter, who's a longtime LSU beat writer on the Southern beat at The Advocate right now. So we'll talk to Kleiny here in about 15 minutes from right now. Looking forward to having Jim back on the show in a minute. So we'll do that coming up here shortly. Michael Thomas met with reporters on Wednesday and was asked a pretty point-blank question if he was going to play on Sunday against Atlanta. Here's what he said.
You expect to play on Sunday?
We'll find out. I mean, I feel like that's the goal.
We'll find out. That's the goal. He was coy. As was Dennis Allen when he was asked about the possibility of Michael Thomas returning, said essentially the same thing. We'll see how this week goes along, but I think the expectation is that Mike Thomas will play against the Atlanta Falcons, and that's in large part why he has been held out of everything to heal that hamstring and to get him ready to go. So that's not something that lingers throughout the season. He's been through so much just to get back to this point where he's ready to play in the opener. But what really caught my attention was, and this has caught the attention of a lot of folks, was when I believe it's Ed Daniels who asked him the question about, if he could ever be the guy he was in 2019 again.
Is the guy we saw in 2019, is he still there?
I'm trying to top that.
Top it?
Yeah, top that for sure.
Trying to top that. Okay, I love that. That is Michael Thomas's goal. I love that in his mind, at this point in his career, that he can still be that Mike Thomas. I love that that is in his head. Because Michael Thomas, as wild as this is going to sound, Michael Thomas has not been on the field for the New Orleans Saints in 20 months. 20 months since he's played in an NFL game. Michael Thomas is now 29 years old. That's not old for a receiver, but it is certainly fair to say that he is at the end or past his physical prime. Doesn't mean he can't still be elite, and I believe he will be. But you're also talking about a guy who in 2019 had to carry the load for that Saints team in the pass game. On this Saints team, he don't have to do that. On this Saints team, it's Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry and Chris Olave and Alvin Kamara, who has had, in the seasons he's healthy, 80-plus receptions each of his first 3 seasons in the NFL. You have so many weapons, and that's not even to include the guys who were on the team last year who were a necessity to elevate their game. Marquez Callaway, Deontay Hardy. I'm not going to mention Traquan Smith. The year that Michael Thomas had 149 receptions, do you know who the second leading receiver was on the team that year? Michael Thomas had 149 for 1,725 yards. Do you remember who the number 2 receiver was on that team? It was your running back, Alvin Kamara, with 81 receptions. The number 2 receiver as far as yards, by the way, was Jared Cook, your tight end. Whether you're looking at yards or receptions, after Mike Thomas, it was a receiver and a running back. It was a tight end and a running back. Ted Ginn was your next leading receiver with 56 catches among wide receivers, 56 catches for 421 yards. And Traquan had 18 catches for 234. Those were your top 3 wide receivers in 2019. Michael Thomas, Ted Ginn, Traquan. Suffice to say, Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry, Chris Olave hits a little bit different. So, no, I don't think Michael Thomas will ever hit his career high again. I don't think he'll ever have over 149 catches. I don't think he'll have over 1,700 yards again in his career. And I'm good with that. You can still be great. You can still be elite without setting the NFL record for receptions. And quite honestly, I don't want Michael Thomas to have to do that, because when everything in the passing game relied on Michael Thomas, look what happened when you removed Michael Thomas. That's the point. It's why for 2 years now we've been yelling, go get receivers. What did they do? They drafted Chris Olave. They signed Jarvis Landry. You get Michael Thomas back, and now all of a sudden that room looks awesome. That looks like as good a receiver room top to bottom as there is in the NFL. I'm not saying you don't have like a 3 of them. I get it what's in Cincinnati. I get it what's in LA, especially if Odell ends up back there. I get it. I get what's in Minnesota. I get it. But top to bottom, they're in rarefied air. That's a good thing. Because if one guy is off the field, it doesn't cripple your passing game. And I'll remind you, most guys don't keep breaking records every year. I love that that's Michael Thomas's thought, is that he can still be that guy. And if you're pushing for it, even if you don't catch 149 balls for 1,700 yards, if you catch 90 balls for 1,100 yards, I'm still with it. I'm gonna tell you this again. My goal for Michael Thomas this year is what he did his rookie season. 92 for 1,137 and 9. That's my goal for Michael Thomas this year. Catch 90 balls for 1,100 yards, 90 balls for 1,000 yards. And he has an extra game to do it, 17 games this year. Catch 90 balls for 1,000 yards. Be a 1,000-yard receiver on this team again. And like Lance Moore told us on the show yesterday, Michael Thomas, just him being on the field, opens up so much for Jarvis Landry. Because if teams are going to double Michael Thomas, they're going to shade that way, is going to create so many opportunities for Jarvis, who in his career has been exceptional at getting separation and catching anything within his catch radius. It's not that dissimilar for Mike Thomas, but teams are going to have to choose, and that makes him dangerous. But you're not going to break records every year. Tom Brady in 2011 threw for 5,200 yards. That was his career high. In 2011. He never touched that again until last year. He had a 17th game last year, so he did best it last year with 5,300 yards, but with the 17th game. It's okay. Like, you can still be great. Nobody's debating if Tom Brady was great for that decade, even though he didn't throw for 5,000 yards again. Adrian Peterson had 2,097 yards back in 2012. He followed it up with a 1,200-yard season, and after that, from 2013 until now, Adrian Peterson has only had 2 more 1,000-yard seasons. Only. One of the greatest running backs ever. You can still be a great back. You can still be massively productive without running for 2,000 yards. So my expectation for Michael Thomas isn't to be what he was in 2019. My expectation for Michael Thomas is to continue being an elite receiver that's going to catch 100 balls and have 1,000 yards receiving on the season. Keep being the pace car for this offense. That's going to open up things for Jarvis. That's going to allow Olave to blow the top off the defense. That's going to create space for Alvin Kamara just whenever they're sleeping. And then, oh, by the way, you got Taysom Hill as well that people are going to have to account for, who we have not talked about at all this camp. The Saints offense should be scary good. It's a reason a lot of people are waking up on New Orleans nationally. And it's justified. And I think Michael Thomas is going to be a major part of that. And I do expect him to play on Sunday against Atlanta, and hopefully he stays healthy and is out there 17 times for the New Orleans Saints. And Michael Thomas knows, and he said it when he met with reporters yesterday. He said he understands. This is sort of a new beginning for him.
Once the Saints offered me, my second deal after my rookie contract, that was an agreement to be out here to add value to this team, to keep the Saints, hanging banners and competing for championships. And I have a big role on this team, so to not be out there and add that value, whenever you get your second chance, I always told myself, and whenever I got back out there, take full advantage of it and find a way to always get back.
It's his second chance. Find a way to get back. He's back. See how it goes on Sunday in Atlanta against the Falcons. Hey, I want to remind you about GMFS Mortgage and GMFSmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. Home buy, refi, construction loans. They do it all at GMFSmortgage.com. GMFSmortgage.com. Check them out online. Get in touch with that local loan officer nearest you. You know where to find them. There are GMFS offices all over the state of Louisiana, so no matter where you are in Louisiana, there is a local loan officer near you. It's GMFS Mortgage. GMFSmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. GMFSmortgage.com. We do have a little bit of breaking news about the New Orleans Saints. I actually just saw this. This is from the Apex Sports Group. Happy day in New Orleans. Eric McCoy has agreed to terms on a long-term extension to remain a Saint. No word on the terms of the deal, but it looks like Eric McCoy and the Saints, yep.
Mike Garafolo, 13 minutes ago, $63.7 million, includes over $40 million in guarantees over 5 years.
Okay, $63 million, $40 in guarantees over 5 years. Wow. Also explains where the Saints' priorities are. C.D. Deuce wanted a contract. They knew they had to extend Eric McCoy. You could very well be extending Marcus Davenport this offseason as well. So congrats to Eric McCoy on the deal. He's been an anchor in that line, former second-round pick, and has lived up to it as the Saints starting center. So we'll dive into that deal coming up here a little bit later. When we come back, Jim Kleinpeter is going to join us to talk a little bit about the Saints, about the Tigers and the Jags. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
Boy, the response has been awesome. Been telling you about Darin James and his latest marketing plan. Darin always has ways, creative ways to market to you to help you get your home sold faster for more money. And his new buy one, list one free program is no exception. Call Darin James and let him explain this program to you. It's easy. Essentially, you hire Darin to help you buy your new home. He will sell your current home for free for his half of the commission. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com. To put it simply, like if you're listing your home for sale by owner because you don't want to pay a commission, call Darin. You're not going to pay him a commission. And he'll help you buy your new home, and his commission will come from the seller's side of the home you buy. Let Darin explain more. Call Darin James. Get your home sold.
Think real estate, think Darin James.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, LSU and Southern for the first time in history. A Saturday in Tiger Stadium. It'll be a 6:30 kickoff on the SEC Network. Of course, you can hear it on our sister station, Eagle 98.1, and affiliates of the LSU Sports Radio Network. Our old buddy Jim Kleinpeter, longtime LSU beat writer, will be covering the game for Southern for the Advocate, on the Southern beat for the Advocate. He's good enough to join us for a couple of minutes. Hey, Jim, great to talk to you, man. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Looking forward to this big old matchup.
Hey, man, I never thought I'd see the day. Let me first go back, though. Southern beat Florida Memorial 86-0. It was a 42-point first quarter. Jim, what in the world happened in that ball game?
Well, they don't waste time with a huddle, for one thing. They just run up to the line of scrimmage and run a play, and then when that play's over, they run up to the line of scrimmage and run another one. And they were firing on all cylinders, and this competition was not very good. Florida Memorial was a team a program that had dropped football for 62 years and started it back up. This is their third year starting it back up. So they're kind of light on talent and depth, and it just kind of all blew up that way. It was pretty amazing to watch.
I mean, Jim, can you ever remember a 42-point quarter?
No, I would wager that it was a school record, probably for any team in the country. So
I would imagine.
Never saw anything like that.
I mean, unless if we're talking about what was the old game like with Georgia Tech and Swanee or something like that back in the day that was like 200-0 or something. I mean,
maybe then,
maybe something like that. So Eric Dooley, new era. What can you tell us about Southern's coach philosophy? What it's been like there?
Well, he's like I said, the up tempo. That's his trademark. But I think the thing about him is he's probably the first coach that's been a consensus choice of everybody at Southern that checked all the boxes since they hired Otis Washington in 1980. And he worked on the staff because of his association with Pete Richardson. He was an assistant for 13 years under Pete. And he's a very good individual, very religious man. He grew up in New Orleans, and he's from Louisiana. He understands Southern, and like I said in the story I wrote, the Southern fans just forget the fact that he went to Grambling. That's where he got his. That's where he played football. So he does so many things, checks the boxes. He's good with the kids. They really trust him. And he won his timing was perfect. He won the SWAC West Division last year. And Roman Banks wanted to hire him when Dawson Odoms left in May of last year, but the timing wasn't right because they had to hurry up and they needed to just keep somebody on staff in place. But he did talk to him, and he didn't want to leave Prairie View under those circumstances. But all's well now, and everybody's happy with it.
Jim Kleinpeter is with us on Twitter at Jim Kleinpeter. We'll talk a little deeper about Southern's team here in just a quick second, Jim. But I'm also curious what the perspective is on the Bluff about this game, about coming to Baton Rouge. It's sold out. It seems like it's going to be a very big deal for that program.
Yeah, they've done what LSU did, maybe to an even bigger degree. They really turned their roster over with guys coming in off the transfer portal because they didn't have very much depth last year. They got killed. There's 3 games they could have won. They could have had a 7-4 record instead of 4-7, but they lost a couple of games in the fourth quarter, and they petered out in the second half too many times. But the people at Southern, a lot of them, there were people there that were clamoring for this game decades ago. But it started, the idea of it really became a reality, I think, in the early 2000s when Skip Bertman said, LSU can play in-state schools. And that was the first hurdle. And eventually they'd get around to Southern. It's a shame it took this long, because I think they played some of the other schools a couple of times. But anyway, that's kind of where it started. But people at Southern are all for this. There's a lot of people at Southern that will come over for LSU games. They'll tailgate over at LSU and then come back to Southern to watch Southern play that night. Or they'll just stay over and stay for the LSU game. So there's some grumbling over at Southern sometimes that too many people are doing that, and they're not over here where they should be. So LSU is like a more powerful magnet that draws people away sometimes. So, but there probably is a small minority of naysayers why we should never play them, because of the way we've been treated. And it's a very small percentage of people feeling that way. There's just so many people that are just so happy this day has come.
Well, Jim, it's sold out, and I would venture a guess that this will be the best attended game between LSU and an FCS school ever. And for that reason, it's going to be exciting. Now, what we see on the field might be very different. Where is Southern strong on the field? Where's this team's strength?
Well, they've got a good offensive line. They got a running back who's back this year. He's actually fit in quite well to the new offense, even though he was in a run-oriented offense. He's a 215-pound back. His name is Gerard Sims. He's from Opelousas, and he's a great receiver. That's why he fits in, because they throw to the backs a lot. And the quarterback, he's not what you look for in a college quarterback. But if you saw my story today, Coach Dooley thinks of him as a winner, and that's what he wanted. So he's 5'10", but he's the kind of guy that, like Auburn, they run the same offense that Auburn ran, and with the RPOs and everything. So they'll be, they're going to run up to the line. They have a lot better depth, so their skill players, they're going to be running skill players in and out. Their strength on defense is their defensive line, and then they've moved a defensive end named Jordan Lewis, the linebacker. And Jordan Lewis is the one guy on Southern's team that could probably find a place to play at LSU. There may be a couple of others, but he definitely could play. He's got 34 career sacks. He won the Buck Buchanan Award 2 seasons ago as the best defensive player in FCS. So he is quite a good player. They got him playing linebacker. This is his first year playing linebacker, but that's where he would play, and he has a chance to play at the next level. So you might want to watch for him. And then they got a guy named Jason Dulas, a defensive tackle from St. James, who played at 4 years at Prairie View and got the extra year, so he transferred so he could be closer to home, play his senior year where his parents could see him. But Southern's pretty strong up front with the linebacker and their defensive line.
Any weaknesses, Jim, notably?
I wouldn't say any outstanding weaknesses. It's just more I don't know about them. Like the wide receivers are all a bunch of new wide receivers. They got a bunch of transfers. They got a guy from Rice and a guy from ULL, and same thing with the secondary. The secondary was a real sore point for them last year. They couldn't tackle. They didn't have a lot of size. What they didn't have was like one of those safeties back there where you could rely on him stopping somebody, the last line of defense guy. And they just didn't tackle well, but they shored up. They've got better talent there. They've got depth. They're too deep now. They can trust. If somebody has to come out, they can trust his backup to go in and not be a big drop off. So if they have a weakness, it would be there. And their special teams are actually pretty good. They got a good kicker. He's 6 of 8 from 40 yards or further, and they got a punter. He averaged 51 yards a kick last week.
Jim Kleinpeter is with us, who'll be covering the game for the Advocate there on the Southern Beat. Is on Twitter at Jim Kleinpeter. Jim, last thing, I asked this question with as much respect as I can, but understanding that just two very vastly different levels of competition. Is there any reason to believe that this game will be close and competitive?
Oh, I don't. Maybe for a quarter. Eventually, games like this, your frontline guys, they're jacked up, and they're going to come out and they're going to play with some energy. And eventually, they're going to make a mistake, and then the air is going to go out. I think I could see Southern, being right there within a score or two through the mid-second quarter, maybe even leading early in the game. I don't know. You never know. But eventually, LSU will, assert itself, I think. They've got every reason to come out and be angry and play a little angry. So, Southern is they're organized, maybe a little better organized than they were last year, and they've got better players than they had last year. They got more of them. They had good frontline players last year, but they just didn't have good backups. So I think they can hang for a little bit.
He is Jim Kleinpeter. Follow him on Twitter at Jim Kleinpeter. Read us up there in the Advocate. Jim, great to chat, man. We appreciate the time. Thanks.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
All right, man. Be well. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. I talk about the 9 IIHS top safety picks, but some of those safety features like lane assist, for example, when I'm driving my Atlas, I could literally take my hands off the wheel. And if I start to drift, the lane assist will pull the vehicle back in the lane. When you're approaching a vehicle, if you take your eyes off the road, which you should never take your eye off the road, but if you get too close, there will be an alarm that sirens on your dash, alerting you that you're getting too close. It warns you to slam on the brakes. One of the many ways that South Point and the Volkswagens are the safest vehicles on the road. Airline just north of Highland, southpointvw.com. 9 different IIHS top safety picks. New or certified pre-owned. Check them out online at southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? Okay, it is after further review. As Muse mentioned to you just a bit ago, Eric McCoy has a new contract. Muse, go through the terms again if you have them in front of you. Or do you have them in front of you? Eric McCoy signed a contract extension with the New Orleans Saints here a couple days before they kick off the season against Atlanta. What are the terms again?
This is from Mike Garafolo from the Network. 5 years,
5 years,
$63.75 million, $40 million in guarantees.
$40 million guaranteed. Okay. We will get some perspective on that. Mike Triplett's going to be with us in about 45 minutes. I'll get Mike's thoughts, and I'll give you mine as well on the Eric McCoy contract extension. So we will get to that. Also, 30 minutes from right now, Muse, Paulie, and I will give you our NFL division winners and our Super Bowl picks. That's coming up in 30 minutes from right now. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Rouse's, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints, where you can always get your personal shopper. And Rouse's makes it convenient, man. Saints game day is this weekend. You got LSU's home opener, of course, against Southern. If you're going to be tailgating or home gating, you got your game watch party. Rouse's can help you out with your personal shopper. Go to the Rouse's app, download the Rouse's app, or go to rouses.com. Super easy. Select your items. Your personal shopper will go pick out your items for you, and then, boom, you pull up. They'll bring it out to your car. Just makes it easy and convenient. So if you're going to tailgate, no worries. Just punch out the items on the app. On the way to campus, pull into Rouse's. They'll just bring it out. You don't even get out of the car. It's that easy. It's at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Make sure you get by any of the Rouse's locations, not just food, but also prepared items, tailgate trays, and all of your cold beer, beverages that you need for the whole family. It's at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's. This feels like home.
Miller Lite has more taste and only 1 more calorie than Michelob Ultra.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free and you pay the same price for groceries as in-store. Use code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside convenience. Shop a style.
Oh, yeah! Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jdacody.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
No, I feel good. I'm ready to go. No limitations. Still think there's, I don't know. I feel great. I'm ready to go play. Can always be better. Can always try to feel like I'm 21 again. I'll keep trying. But no, I feel really good. I feel like I can make every throw. I don't know what else you need to hear from me.
That was Matt Stafford. There was a report today that Matt Stafford had an off-season elbow procedure and also had an injection. By the way, this is worth pointing out. And this was from Adam Schefter, who said that Stafford had an off-season procedure on his right elbow. A lot of people hear procedure and think surgery. Not always the same thing. You can have a surgical procedure, but in the very technical definition, surgery is when you cut. A procedure can be a stem cell injection. It can be any number of therapies that aren't necessarily surgery. So I'm curious what exactly Stafford had done. It would be very hard to believe that if he had surgery on his elbow, that he'd be back. Just think intellectually about all of the baseball injuries that you hear about where pitchers have elbow surgery, have Tommy John. Like, that ain't you back in 8 months ready to roll. That just ain't how it works. So, I don't know what Stafford had happen here, but tonight is going to be, I think, a really interesting game. Ryan Clark was with us in hour number 1, and he did pick the Rams to win the game. I kind of agree with him. I do like the Rams in this ball game tonight to win it. There's just a ton of emotion surrounding a defending champion, but there's a ton of questions also around the Rams. Not only is Stafford's elbow a big part of this game tonight, remember, his blindside tackle, Andrew Whitworth, has retired. He is not throwing the ball to Odell Beckham anymore, who's injured and unsigned. Sony Michel went to Miami and is now in L.A. with the Chargers. And instead of Stafford standing on the sideline watching Von Miller harass quarterbacks for his team, he's going to be dodging Von Miller, who will be trying to go around Andrew Whitworth's replacement, as Von Miller's now with the Bills. So there's a lot of questions around the Rams in this ball game. I think that they have to answer this season. They do, of course, have Cooper Kupp, and when Sean McDermott met with the media, that was a very obvious point about tonight is how do you stop Cooper Kupp?
Is there a key to slowing down Cooper Kupp?
If there is, I don't think any team's figured it out yet. He's strong, he's fast, he's quick, he's got an unreal feel for zones and how his rapport with his quarterback and Stafford, and yet at the same time he's a two-dimensional player in the way he blocks in the running game, and I think that says a lot about who he is and how he goes about his business.
Now also in Buffalo, there's a giant question mark. Of course, Josh Allen is not a question. Josh Allen is fantastic. He has exceeded, I think, everybody's realistic expectations for him to this point in his career, and the Bills are the betting favorite to win the Super Bowl this year. But Buffalo does have a new play caller, and I don't know that can be altogether completely ignored. Just when I think back to Atlanta in the year that Matt Ryan won the MVP, and Shanahan and he worked so well together, and Ryan won an MVP, and they went to a Super Bowl and, of course, lost it. Matt Ryan never quite ascended to that height again because he worked so well with that coordinator. Of course, Brian Daboll was the coordinator in Buffalo. He's now the head coach of the Giants. Ken Dorsey, the former Miami Hurricanes quarterback, Ken Dorsey, is the new OC in Buffalo. So I don't know that can altogether be minimized, the importance of changing an offensive coordinator, especially for a still young NFL quarterback. But here was Sean McDermott, the Bills head coach, on Dorsey being ready for this opportunity.
All you can do is work at it, right? And Ken's an extremely hard worker. He's very conscientious in his approach as well. And there's a first time for everyone in terms of the experience factor. And this will be his first time. And as I shared with some of our young coaches, this will be quite an introduction to the NFL opening the season on national television. But that makes it fun, you know, and I'm sure he'll learn a lot. We'll learn a lot, and we support one another, and we go to work.
That's probably the element of this game that's not being talked about enough that is massively significant. Is Ken Dorsey ready to be a play caller? Is he ready to be an OC in this league? And this is a pretty rude introduction to that. Now, Sean McVay was at that point in his career and was a wunderkind and has gone on and won a Super Bowl and been to a couple now at this point in his career, still not even 40 years old. But McVay was asked about Matt Stafford, which is where we started. So to bring it full circle, Stafford, who had the elbow issue in the offseason and really didn't throw at all in the offseason. Here's what McVay said about his quarterback's health.
You know, I think we've got a really good plan in place, no different than really last year. You know, these are things that he was kind of working through in his own way, but you always want to be cognizant of a pitch count, if you will. But he's feeling as good as, I tell you what, he's throwing the ball excellent. He feels good. Everything that I'm seeing is reflective of everything he's saying to me. And so I feel really good about that. You know, you can't look back on the past. It is something that will be very similar to last year. So it's not really anything that's different. You got a great competitor that you want to be smart about managing, guys' bodies. And for a quarterback, their arm is always something that you want to be smart about, and that'll be the same as what we did last year with him.
I'm fired up for it. The NFL season starts tonight. There's no college game tonight, so the Rams and the Bills have the stage all to themselves. And, of course, you can bet on it at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. DraftKings, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, our official sports betting partner here on AFR. And for tonight's ball game, if you are ready for Thursday Night Football, you can get involved in the action here with DraftKings. New customers have this can't-miss offer to celebrate the start of the new season. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use the promo code Baton Rouge, one word, Baton Rouge, bet just $5. Bet just $5 on tonight's game, and you'll get $200 in free bets instantly. Win or lose the bet, they're going to give you $200 in free bets instantly. That's at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Also tonight, if you bet on Buffalo or LA to win, if your team leads by 7 at any point during the game, you get paid instantly, even if your team loses the game. They are just giving away bets here. It's DraftKings, the official sports betting partner of the NFL. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use the promo code Baton Rouge, and get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on Thursday Night Football. That's code Baton Rouge only at the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus issued as free bets. One early win token issued at opt-in. Moneyline bets only. Deposit and wagering restrictions apply. Eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com/football. Terms. Licensed partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem. Call 1-877-770-STOP. I don't like soccer. I don't care about the World Cup. Probably not going to watch it. If the U.S. is playing, it's meaningful. I'll watch because I like when the U.S. whips other countries and things, although we're not good in soccer. Do we have a team in the World Cup this year? Did we qualify?
Yeah, they did.
We did. Okay, good.
Yeah.
No, we did.
Yeah, we did.
We did. We're all Americans.
Yes.
Okay, we qualified.
They got the group of death there basically, so it's not gonna be good. But yeah,
we don't win this thing. We never won this thing ever.
True. Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. We weren't even in it last time.
No, they lost to Trinidad. We lost to Trinidad.
But why are we doing this thing in Qatar? This is so stupid. Did you see this story about alcohol? So apparently in Qatar, which is Iraq. We learned all that during the Iraqi war. Qatar is in Iraq, right? Look at it, Qatar, because we all said Qatar, and then we learned it was actually Qatar. It's in Iraq, right?
Oh well, I accidentally clicked on the airline. Let's see.
Qatar. Okay, it's in the Middle East. Apparently they have really strict like drinking, like alcohol policies
It's
there.
its own country.
Huh?
It's its own country.
Does it border Iraq? It's right there. Like, we learned about all this whenever there was the Iraqi war in 2000, like 03-ish.
I can't tell what it borders. I'm not sure.
Lord, Muso, just pull up a map.
I am. The
Oh,
map's
my
huge,
God.
and I can't find the.
Holy moly, it doesn't matter. Anyway, okay, so in Qatar, which is in the Middle East, somewhere very close to and probably bordering Iraq, let's say that, it is. They have very strict alcohol rules. You can't drink in public there. So they will allow for alcohol to be purchased in hotels, and there will be, and the committee in charge of the World Cup has agreed to make beer available because the World Cup sponsor is Budweiser. So at the stadium in fan zones, they will make Budweiser available. That's a tough sell, though. Like, the only thing you're going to have for people is Bud Heavy. Like, first of all, not everybody likes beer. I mean, how in the world are you having an international event of this magnitude in a country that, by the way, you can't even have it in the summer because it's 130 degrees in the desert, and then you're not even going to let people booze? They're threatening to arrest people and put them in jail for up to 6 months if they bring alcohol in their suitcases into the country. Like, this is some awful Brittany Griner level stuff. You're going to arrest people for putting a bottle of Jack Daniels in their suitcase? What? Whose bright idea was it to have the World Cup in the Middle East? It might go down as the worst decision. Like, I remember the Sochi Olympics, and it was all like the Sochi problems and everything. Like, you had athletes getting like stuck in their rooms at the Olympic Village and all that. Just everything was a disaster. Like, this may top Sochi as the worst idea ever. Kick rocks, losers. What is the World Cup doing?
Border Saudi Arabia. It's a peninsula in the Persian Gulf,
which is right by Iraq.
Yeah, Iraq is north of Saudi Arabia, so northeast for Qatar.
Got it.
It's a peninsula in the Persian Gulf, Matt.
Got it. The more you know. Muse will tell us about what former LSU Tigers are doing in their professional careers next. It's AFR.
AFR.
That was brutal, Muse. I mean, your teachers have got to be devastated. We're brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. What? Okay. Well, you said something audible over there.
No, I was laughing.
Oh, okay. I thought you said something. Brought to you by Clegg's Nursery, 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. You know where to find them. Siegen near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Oh, I have got to go check in with Teresa tomorrow over at Clegg's because they were expecting to get the fall decor in by the end of this week. That means pumpkins and hay bales and scarecrows and squash and gourds and all that good stuff that you love to decorate your porch or your patio or your back patio, whatever it may be, or inside your house for the fall season. That is all coming soon here at Clegg's Nursery. Of course, if you're a deer hunter, buckbusters, Mobucks, deer corn, rice bran, all the stuff you need to put out your plots, they got it at Clegg's. And if you want to put that fall vegetable garden into the ground, this is the time. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt and Hill. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today. Or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you. Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us
Every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7, The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's number.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. In less than 10 minutes, right after SportsCenter, we are getting to our NFL division picks, AFC, NFC Championship, and Super Bowl winner. That's for me, Paulie and Muse. It's all coming up. Mike Triplett in 25 minutes from right now. Man, we got so much to do, and glad you're with us. Right now, though, Muso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
Heck of a matchup in the NFL tonight to open the season. Seems like it'll have it all, right, between the Rams and the Buffalo Bills. The one thing it won't have, though, is an LSU Tiger on the field. And the reasoning for that is, well, Trey White's on the PUP list for the Bills as he continues to rehab that ACL injury. He will miss at least the first 4 games of the season, which means he will not be on the field tonight for Buffalo. And, of course, Andrew Whitworth rode off into the sunset, retiring a Super Bowl champion with the Rams.
And Odell's still hurt.
And Odell is hurt as well, yes. So, of all the flavor you could have had in this game, LSU-wise, you will have none of it.
Weird.
That doesn't happen very often, Matt. 53 players across the NFL for LSU.
Ooh.
Alex Bregman last night for the Astros in their victory over the Rangers.
I hit the microphone.
Went 1 for 2, beg your pardon. Walked twice, singled, and scored a run. 267 for Bregman. Jake Fraley, he stays hot with the Cincinnati Reds. They beat the Cubbies last night. Fraley 1 for 3, his 9th home run of the season. Walked once as well, scored 2 runs in the game. Fraley hitting 243. Austin Nola last night, hitting 8th for the Padres, was 2 for 4, both of them singles. Did come around to score on one. Just a very solid year for Austin Nola at 245, his average. Last but not least, not great news for DJ LeMahieu. Aaron Boone was on the Michael Kay show today and confirmed a sprained toe is sending DJ LeMahieu to the injured list. Second stint on the injured list this season for DJ. We'll keep you posted there. He's got a toe.
He's got a toe. Everybody's on the IL right now.
Yeah.
All of the players. All of them.
Across all teams on all leagues.
A lot of them.
That's Tigers in the pros.
Who cares? but you should go buy a ring at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com. For Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge has gone to get engaged for 40 years, 2 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. They're corporate in Bocage and inside of the Mall of Louisiana. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. You can always shop online, lmfj.com, to learn more about the different settings, the styles, the shape of the ring as well, of the diamond. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, they've got all of the answers for you. lmfj.com, they'll always give you that buying experience, at Lee Michaels experience at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, it is after further review. If you missed the news today, the Saints have agreed to a long-term contract extension with center Eric McCoy. I want to give you some thoughts on that when we come back right after the top of the hour. And we will also give you our season-long picks and we are going to track them, just like we did in baseball, for Major League Baseball. We'll see how they do at the end of the regular season and when the World Series champion is crowned. We'll do that for the NFL season, which kicks off tonight. We'll do that when we come back. Glad to have you aboard with us here. Mike Triplett will be with us as we'll take a first look at Saints and Falcons from the Saints side when Mike Triplett is with us here in about 20 minutes from right now for his weekly spot. We're glad to have Mike join us. Glad to have you aboard with us as well here on a Thursday edition of AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and always online at theantiagingclinics.com. That's theantiagingclinics.com. All right, y'all, it is after further review. We got hour 3 staring you straight in the face as we head to a football weekend. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. ShawbillsTire.com, where we keep you rolling. Get to the website to learn more. ShawbillsTire.com. ShawbillsTire.com. Whatever you have going on with your vehicle, chances are Shawbills can help you fix it. Of course, if you need to buy new tires, Shawbills can help. And we're talking about name brand tires. Firestone, Bridgestone, Michelin, BF Goodrich, the best tires on the road, and they'll sell them to you at wholesale prices. The best price you'll find anywhere at Shawbills. Remember, ask about the Shawbills credit card. Every time you use that Shawbills credit card, you're going to get great discounts as well, including the first time you use your Shawbills credit card, $50 off any service whenever you use your Shawbills credit card. So you get an oil change, you basically get it for free. It's got to run the card for a $1 charge. That's at Shawbills. Find the location nearest you at ShawbillsTire.com, with 17 Shawbills locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. And in South Louisiana, there's a Shawbills near you at ShawbillsTire.com. ShawbillsTire.com for Shawbills. For more than 50 years, we keep you rolling.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The NFL's 103rd season kicks off tonight, right where last season ended, Inglewood, California, where the Super Bowl champion Rams host the Bills. Could the Rams win it all again? ESPN's Dan Orlovsky.
This football team has one flaw, one weakness, and that's depth. But it's the same flaw and weakness that they had last year. This is a very top-heavy roster. But this is an organization that believes in prehab and rehab and health and wellness. So they are built to kind of maintain the top-end talent that they have.
Dan Orlovsky on First Take. Coming off their first Super Bowl win, the Rams extend the contracts of head coach Sean McVay and GM Les Snead through the 2026 season. The Bills are actually a 2.5-point favorite on the road in this one tonight. FPI, though, gives the Rams a 56% chance of winning the game. The College Football Playoff Management Committee met in Dallas today, the first step toward what they hope will be an expanded 12-team playoff as early as the 2024 season.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Matt?
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
And Mr. Toby Tomplake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there. Make it a good one. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. All right. Let's do it. NFL season kicks off tonight. Teased it long enough. We're not going to wait any longer. Mike Triplett in 12 minutes, so let's get going. Muse, if you would. It is that time. Tonight. After 3/4 of a year of waiting, the padded gladiators return to their field of glory, pursuing the ultimate prize, a championship in the NFL. I think my John Facenda's getting a little better. I like it a little bit.
More reps at it, yeah.
Okay, division winners. AFC, NFC champion, and Super Bowl Let's start. We'll start in the AFC. We'll go around the room. Let's start in the North. AFC North. The Norris. Muse, who you got?
Going Joey B, Jamar Chase.
Ooh,
give me the Bengals.
Homer.
Repeat. Absolutely. Yeah, look, I'm not. We all should have learned last year. Stop picking against him. All right?
Okay. Paulie?
I'm going to pick against them.
Ah, Paul.
I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens.
Paulie and I have agreement. I am also going with Lamar Jackson, with Harbaugh and the gang. I like the Baltimore Ravens. A little hangover for Cincinnati this year. Don't love the Bengals. I love Joey B. Don't love the Bengals this year. Okay. In the South, Matt Ryan, new quarterback there in the Colts. You got whatever Jacksonville is doing. The Houston Texans and Lovie Smith and his gigantic beard. Yeah.
Yeah, the Texans are terrible. I'm actually going to go with the Colts. I'm going to go with the Colts and Matt Ryan.
I get to say the Tennessee Titans and Derrick Henry. All right, so you're going, say it again, Muse.
I'm going with the Colts and Matt Ryan.
You're going with Indy. Paulie?
I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans.
Paulie's going Tennessee. Muse and I have agreement. I like the Indianapolis Colts. Gigantic running game is going to be what Matt Ryan needs to get going in a otherwise bad division. Let's go to the East, the AFC East. Probably a consensus here where forever it was just New England, but I think we all probably agree on this one.
The Buffalo Bills. Yeah.
Paulie?
Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, Buffalo.
Okay, we're all Buffalo there. That's easy. It's so weird, too, because forever you would just take New England and scribble it in for more than a decade. Not so much now. Buffalo seems like the consensus pick. And they added Von Miller. Like, Von Miller won one in Denver, won one with the Rams. What if he gets one in Buffalo? Like, I'd have to look. I don't know. I'm sure it's happened where a guy's won Super Bowl with 3 teams. Like, I mean, I can think of Charles Haley, who won it with Dallas and the Niners. I mean, there are those out there. 3 different teams? That's got to be a really short list. I'd be curious to know. We'll have to do some research there, but Von Miller's trying to do that. AFC West?
I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Chargers. Really like the moves they made on defense. Justin Herbert, year 3 in the league. I think Kansas City's very good, but I think they take a slight step back.
Paulie.
This one's tough for me.
Should be tough for everybody.
I'm leaning Chargers, but I can't go against the Chiefs just yet. So I'm going to go Kansas City.
I am also going with the Kansas City Chiefs. Until you can prove you can beat Patrick Mahomes, I'm going to continue going with Patrick Mahomes. We are sleeping there. And what about that quarterback division with Russ and Denver? I mean, it's so good. I think the Chargers, Muse, your pick, are the team that takes a major step back this year.
Okay.
A regression this year in Los Angeles with the Chargers. Let's move over to the NFC. Who you got in the NFC, Norris?
NFC North, that's an interesting one. No, it's not the Green Bay Packers.
Right, Paulie?
Green Bay.
All right, we're all Green Bay. That's easy. But
Vikings, man.
I was super tempted to go Minnesota. I am really wondering, okay, who is Rodgers going to throw to? You took away the best receiver in the NFL. Who is he going to throw to?
Fair.
I don't know. But I was really tempted there. In the South, do we have homerism? Oh, Paul, look at Paulie with the eyebrow ring. All right. What do we have here? Muse.
Yeah. I'm still going to go with Tom in Tampa. I hate to do it.
All right.
Really hate to.
Paulie?
I think the Bucs O-line is a concern. And for that, I'm going to go to New Orleans.
You homer.
Just
I mean,
a
Paul,
smidge.
is this what you want to happen or what you think will happen?
No, this is I legit think this will happen.
You know what, Paulie? I totally agree. I'm changing my pick. I had the Saints 10-7, had them as a wild card team, but the injury to Ryan Jensen, all 3 interior linemen for the Bucs out. What is the one way Tom Brady's been affected in his career? Pressure. So look at the Super Bowls he's lost. Pressure. That's been the problem. I don't think the Bucs O-line is going to be able to keep him upright. I understand what he has with Fournette coming back, but I think adding old Julio, old Kyle Rudolph does not make you better. There's no Gronk there. We have not talked at all about the change at head coach in Tampa. I think Tampa has issues. I think I've said this before, this is Brett Favre 2010 with the Vikings. He came so close in 2009. The Saints nipped him in overtime. He came back for one more go, and it did not work. I think that is this season in Tampa. I'm going Saints to win the division over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm adjusting my pick. I think Tampa regresses this year, and Tom Brady retires because he's at the end of his rope. NFC East. Muse.
I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC East.
All right. Paulie?
I'm not on the Philly train just yet. I'm going to go Dallas.
Jalen Hurts is a fraud. His record against teams with a winning record, teams with a losing record is drastically different. I will not believe in Jalen Hurts until I have a reason to believe in Jalen Hurts as an NFL quarterback. I am going to go with the best quarterback in the division, and that is Dak Prescott, and I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys to win the East. What about in the West?
Los Angeles Rams.
Muse! What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I know.
The Muse!
Look.
I listened to you for 18 weeks last year. Actually, even in the playoffs, said the Rams are frauds.
Look.
And they won the Super Bowl.
I mean, I couldn't jump off that train. I had to just keep riding it, even though, yeah. But no, I like it, man. They've got a really good shot this year. Like the Rams.
Okay, Paulie.
I also just think that division stinks outside of them in San Francisco.
Yeah, I think this will be one of the more competitive divisions. I think 49ers or the Cardinals have a chance.
I agree.
But I think it's the Rams.
I am also going with the Rams. So we have consensus. So our consensus here was in the AFC South with Indy. The AFC No, I'm sorry. Paulie had Tennessee. My bad. AFC East with Buffalo. And the NFC West was the only two divisions where we had all total agreement. How about that? So we will actually have some.
I like
this
that.
will be good. Yeah, this will be really good.
Yeah.
This will be really good. Okay, AFC champion Muse.
It's funny you mentioned earlier you have to get past Patrick Mahomes, right? And that's been the Bills' just kryptonite. Not this year. Buffalo to the Super Bowl, man.
All right, Buffalo back to the Super Bowl. Paulie.
I will also go Buffalo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Kansas City chumps. Kansas City's going back.
No, you have them in the winner. Oh.
I have them winning the division. Kansas City's going back to the Super Bowl. When are you chumps going to learn? You don't pick against Mahomes. I get it. Joey B nipped him last year. You know what? Joey B's earned the right. You know who had Josh Allen and Ken Dorsey as his OC. Y'all minimizing that. Who is calling plays matters. You don't think so? Ask Matt Ryan. What was Matt Ryan with the Falcons after Shanahan left? Well, tell me nothing about. Come on now.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Not good.
Brian Daboll's gone. New OC for Josh Allen. Oh, over the course. They'll get together. Blah, blah.
Tonight's going to be rough for him.
It's going to be terrible. Come on.
But he'll get there.
Kansas City.
Dude's got a loaded gun, man. I mean, come on.
All right, NFC. Muse.
This is really difficult. But despite losing weapons at receiver, he's the reigning MVP 2 years in a row. I like the defense a lot. I go Green Bay Packers.
Paulie.
I unfortunately agree with everything Musso just said. So that as well. I'm going with the Packers as well. Can't see that.
I mean, does it say Green Bay? Is this a GB? Walking over here. It does. How about that?
That's a GB.
That's a GB.
Aaron.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Aaron against Mahomes in the Super Bowl, says Sconstradamus. Now who you got winning it? You have Buffalo against Green Bay. We all have Aaron. You all have Allen against Aaron. I've got Mahomes against Aaron. Who do you have?
I've got Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers winning the Super Bowl.
Paulie.
I have Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills winning the Super Bowl.
And I also picked Aaron to get the second of his career. I don't have a lot of reasoning behind it other than he has still continued to play at an MVP level the last 2 years. the fact that the best receiver in football is no longer on his team is kind of devastating and worries me. But I think that's only going to make him elevate his game even more. Despite all of the playoff issues and losses that they have had, I think he exercises those demons this year, and I will pick Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers to beat Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. We have it. It's all on tape. It's written in ink. It's etched in stone. The National Football League predictions are done. Okay, we are brought to you by Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. We got to get to Mike Triplett, but remember, I walked out of here yesterday. It was storming, y'all. There was a deluge down toward Ascension Parish yesterday afternoon. Look, with all of this rain, if you started to notice water spots, leaks, issues with your roof, give us a call. Let us come give you that free, no-obligation roofing inspection. Hudco Roofing, H-U-D-C-O, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Go to the website, fill out the contact form right on the homepage. Super easy, HudcoRoofing.com. We'll be in touch. We'll have an inspector come hop up on your roof. Totally free. If you have damage, we'll help you file a claim with your insurance company. We'll meet the adjuster. We'll take care of everything for you. It's Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. All right, we are late. Mike Triplett next.
AFR.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at revelryteam.com. Revelry Sports, the official tailgate partner of LSU Athletics.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance.
Acura summer of performance. This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, rolling along here on a Thursday edition of AFR. I'm glad to have you hanging out. Every Thursday we chat with Mike Triplett, ESPN.com. Joins us now. Mike, thanks for the time as always. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. Let me start, before we get into Saints-Falcons, with some big news today. Eric McCoy, the Saints have locked up their center with a long-term deal. Thoughts?
Well, it makes a lot of sense, and it follows a pattern that even though they have salary cap issues, they've never been a team that has let the salary cap scare them away from re-signing players that they really care about, and that's why they are always borrowing from the future to keep this core together. And well, obviously, we saw them go a different direction with C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who they didn't see as a part of their long-term future. But Eric McCoy is someone that they do, and you know, a young, very literal centerpiece of that offensive line. It would have been hard to replace if they weren't going to get a deal done with him. It looks like a good deal that he earned, but also an affordable one for the Saints. So it feels like a win-win.
What do you think about the terms?
Yeah, I mean, it's, if I'm doing the math right, close to $12 million a year for the next 5 years, and with salaries just skyrocketing around the league and appearing like they're going to in the near future, that seems like a bargain if he's going to continue to develop at the rate. You know, I actually thought 2 years ago he looked like he was ascending so quickly that, you know, he might have moved himself into a different price range. So hopefully this turns out to be a real bargain for them. But doesn't feel like they had to overpay at all. I don't want to say, you know, he didn't get everything he deserved, but like I said, it feels like both sides should be happy.
Yeah, if you look at the average money per year, Ryan Kelly, the Colts, got $12.4 a year. So Corey Linsley's at $12.5, Ryan Jensen's at $13, Frank Ragnow's at $13.5, and Jason Kelsey's at $14. So he's right there in the top 5 centers in the NFL as far as, you know, per year compensation, which you got to like, and certainly over the length of that 5 years as well.
Yeah, no question. And I mean, salaries are going to go bonkers in the NFL soon. It's going to be the TV deals and the money and how big that cap is going to go up in the coming years. I think it's going to take us. Look what we've already seen with quarterback position.
Yeah, I was just about to say, step right up, Joe Burrow.
Yeah. I mean, it went from, oh wow, the first $30 million quarterback to the first $50 million quarterback. Before you can finish blinking your eyes. So I think we're going to, and receivers obviously were the position that skyrocketed this year. Centers, it'll take a while for centers to get there, but I think I think the average salary at every position is going to be 150% higher than it is now within a couple of years. So anytime you can get a deal like this done, he's probably happy.
It's an incredible thought. Saints begin the Dennis Allen era Sunday in Atlanta. Mike, when you come out of everything we've seen, camp, personnel, Final 53, all that sort of stuff, where do you look at this roster right now and say, if they fall short of what their goals are, it's going to be because of that?
Well, other than injuries, obviously. When we've talked about how the tight end position, but not if all the receivers pan out, then it's okay to not have like dynamic pass catching tight ends. Obviously after trading C.J. Gardner-Johnson, now everybody has to perform in that secondary, whether it's Bradley Roby in the nickel or Alontae Taylor coming on, faster, or P.J. Williams playing a prominent role. And Marcus May and Tyrann Mathieu are both going to have to deliver. And they're, injury histories there, or older guys there, and potential suspension for May. So, they're going to need a lot of guys to deliver there. Offensive line, if James Hurst, if the tackles don't stay healthy, losing Trevor Penning. But really all my fears are if. If if they have to go to the second level of the depth chart, I don't have a lot of ifs when all 22 starters are going to be healthy.
Mike Triplett's with us on Twitter at Mike Triplett. So they go to Atlanta. How healthy do you suggest that Michael Thomas is for this opener?
I think pretty healthy. He's looked good in practice. His health was going to be a question mark if he never suffered the hamstring injury. We were already wondering, after missing 2 years of football, how strong is the ankle? But he looked really good in camp. I think it's pretty apparent that they were just being overcautious with the hamstring injury and trying to give him the maximum amount of time. And then he was back on the practice field this week when it really mattered. It doesn't, we only see a small portion of practice at this time of year, but no limitations that I see. So, I think the rust will be an issue. I think, it's only natural after you miss that much time that it stands to reason it will take a while for him to return to feeling, as fast and crisp as he used to. But I think it's fair to have pretty high expectations. And the best part about it is, if this was 12 months ago, they would need him to be, catching 12 passes a game because they needed pass catchers so bad. They just need him to be part of the mix this year. He doesn't have to be the one-man solution. So if he is anywhere near what he used to be, that would be icing on top of the cake. If he's just a very, very good, I don't want to put a percentage on it, 80% of what he used to be, or, if the production is 80% of what it used to be, that's all they need with the other guys they've added to the passing game.
Mike, I completely agree with that. With this week in Atlanta, is there anything about Atlanta in this game that should be a red flag for New Orleans going to Atlanta?
I'm very concerned about how they're going to defend Kyle Pitts. Like I said, I like the depth, I like the talent in their secondary, but if Paulson Adebo doesn't play this week, we were just saying this today at practice, they're going to have 4 new starters in those top 5 positions in the secondary. So I think Marcus May is good. I think Tyrann Mathieu is very good. I think Bradley Roby is very good. If he's the one playing on the outside in place of Adebo, if it's P.J. Williams in the nickel, all those guys are fine, but they come with some question marks. How are they going to play together? It's going to be their first time together. And then they have to cover this guy who is just one of the matchup nightmares in the league already in his second year, because he's going to line up all over the field. Is he a receiver? Is he a tight end? Is he going to try to get matched up against linebackers or safeties instead of corners? So I'm really curious how they put this new secondary together for the first time and then match up against a guy like that. And then to a certain extent, I'd be worried about, the offense is going to be so different with Marcus Mariota at quarterback, and maybe they'll do some read option stuff. But I don't think just because, they've struggled against that so much with the Eagles in past years that we're going to see the same thing. I mean, I think they'll get him on a couple plays, but I think they'll have a pretty good plan for that overall.
Mike, in what material ways do you think we'll notice Sean Payton's absence?
I don't know. That's one of the hardest things for me to put my finger on. I mean, whenever we talk about what do you think their record's going to be, how good do you think they're going to be, are they a playoff team? I always want to say, well, I like the product on the field better this year than last year. I like at every position group almost how much better they're going to be than last year, especially on offense and the health. And I don't know how to quantify Is that a 2-game difference not having Sean Payton? Is it a 1-game difference? Is it a 0-game difference? Where does that matter? Does it only matter if a crisis comes up in the middle of the season and he needs to come up with a solution or rally the troops? Does it matter on game day? I mean, it's a really, really fascinating question, and I don't know what to expect. But, I mean, in the short-term thinking, in this week 1 game, I think it should be a pretty smooth transition. I mean, obviously, we saw Dennis Allen coach as the interim in his place last year, and it was the most impressive win of the whole season. So, and especially with Pete Carmichael being the guy calling the offense, there's like basically no transition there. I'm not expecting a drastic difference, but I also don't want to shortchange the guy we're talking about that's not hearing it.
That, for me, is a giant question that nobody's talking about. I just keep thinking about I just keep thinking about 2012, the Bountygate year. We all, the know your job thing. We all just assumed that they had it running. You had great player leadership with Drew Brees, and it just didn't go well. So
it's a really, really, really fair point. I mean, I guess the biggest difference between that year and this year is they had one of the worst defenses in NFL history that year. I said, they set the record for most yards allowed, and that was their downfall. The offense was not as crisp as it used to be. I think there were a lot of turnovers and a lot of things like that, but they put up a ton of yards and looked basically like they did throughout that era. And in this case, this has become a team that relies on its defense even more than its offense. And I think we think Dennis Allen and Ryan Nielsen and Chris Richard and Michael Hodges have that pretty buttoned down and have a lot of confidence in them. And the offense just has to not be one of the worst offenses in the league, which is what it became because of the injury attrition last year. And I think we all think this offense is going to be way better this year than it was last year, just by having everyone back healthy and the additions they made. So I think it'll take a while before we can definitely put our finger on where they need Peyton and where he's missing.
Well, we'll start to get that answer Sunday at noon Central. Mike Triplett, ESPN.com, on Twitter at Mike Triplett. He joins us every Thursday. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
All right, be well. It's after further review. We will knock out a break. When we continue, we'll give you a pick on Rams Bills, and we'll run through the injury report for Atlanta as well, as it looks like one of their potential playmakers is really on the fence for Sunday. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org. brgeneral.org. That's the Baton Rouge General Hospital. They've got locations all over the greater Baton Rouge area to serve our entire community. The Mid-City location, which, of course, the ER reopened amid COVID and has remained open. The Bluebonnet campus, the Ascension Neighborhood Hospital, now Ascension Parish. You have your own emergency room and own emergency care there, thanks to the Baton Rouge General. And the Baton Rouge General Express Care locations, which is walk-in urgent care 7 days a week. No matter what it is that you need, if it's the Pennington Cancer Center, if it's the Regional Burn Center, of course, the Heart and Vascular Center, their emergency care, the Baton Rouge General is here to serve. brgeneral.org for the Baton Rouge General Hospital. You can view all of their services at the website. Online at brgeneral.org.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
I am Juliette, daughter of Marguerite, granddaughter of Gabriel Piera. I come from a line of strong women who knew struggle and success too. Still, I was scared by my breast cancer diagnosis. But I had Blue Cross coverage, which meant I got care from top doctors. I'm strong like my mother, and her mother before her. The right card, the right care.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite has more taste and only 90.
After further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Drake London, the first-round pick of the Falcons out of USC, the wide receiver, was limited again in practice on Thursday. Let's see. Head coach Arthur Smith said no decisions are going to be made about London's availability for Sunday against the Saints until the weekend. So get this. If Drake London can't go, and of course Russell Gage is now in Tampa, here's Tampa's receivers. This is probably how people talked about the Saints a year ago when they looked at the Saints receivers. Actually, Muse, tell me if you could tell me where any of these guys played college football.
Okay.
Brian Edwards.
No. Central Michigan.
I think Brian Edwards played at South Carolina, because I think I interviewed him at SEC Media Days.
It's one of the most generic names ever.
No, I know, but I think
Brian Edwards.
I think he did play at South Carolina. He's like South Carolina's all-time leading, or would have been. He was in line, I think before COVID, like he was in line to be South Carolina's all-time leading receiver. Or maybe he got hurt at the end of the season when he was going to get that. He came like just short. Anyway, Brian Edwards, Olamide Zacchaeus.
What?
Right.
Pittsburgh.
I have no idea. Let's go with it. Demir Bird, which you should know.
Yeah, he was SEC guy. Oh man. I don't know. I can't remember.
Demir Bird was also South Carolina.
Was he?
Let me make sure. I mean, I don't have this. I'm doing this off the cuff, but Demir Bird, I'm almost positive, also played South Carolina. He did, yeah. So, basically, the Falcons just have
the South Carolina
Falcons. Kaderil Hodge.
Yeah, that guy played at Arizona State.
And Jared Bernhardt.
Yeah, he was a Minnesota Golden Gopher.
Like, I love that you're just on the fly making up stuff, which is great.
That one's right.
Let's see. Kaderil Hodge was actually from Prairie View A&M.
Oh, okay.
Not Arizona State. And let's see. Jared Bernhardt. Jared Bernhardt played at Ferris State.
Dang it. I really wanted one of those
He was
to
not
hit.
at Minnesota.
I really wanted one of those
we
to
didn't
hit.
check out Olamide Zacchaeus, so hold on. O-L-I.
Where did I say he played?
O-L-A-M-I-D-E.
I said he played for Pittsburgh.
Let's see. Oh!
No.
Nope.
You're so full of it. There ain't no way.
He played at Virginia. You were close.
Oh,
you were close.
Right
He
conference.
was an ACC school. Anyway, so the point is, Marcus Mariota, who stinks, has nobody to throw to except for Kyle Pitts, who is awesome, but yeah. You know who else is awesome?
He went to Florida.
You know who's awesome? Kayshon Boutte's awesome.
He's pretty good.
And it was tough sledding at times for him the other night. I get it's college pro, not a great analogy. But point is, we've seen great NFL receivers on crappy teams and not get the ball. And, the Falcons are just not good. All right. We're brought to you by Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. I'm putting off what I have to do. 288-8138, 288-8138, reliefwindows.com. Windows, door, siding, Relief Windows, and reliefwindows.com. I mean, I don't want to talk to T-Bob, but he is at Don Juan, which I love. Relief Windows, so I'm just putting it off. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding. Maybe I'll just run out this segment so T will have like 6 seconds, and I can just hang up on him. 288-8138 or reliefwindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, Relief Windows, and reliefwindows.com. Okay, I do love Don Juan, and that's where, of course, T-Bob and I hang out for whiskey and wine after every LSU game. T-Bob is at Don Juan right now for the start of the NFL season. Tons of fun. What are you doing?
Thank you for letting me listen to that incredibly engaging conversation
Did
about
you know,
the Falcons wide receiver
Did
core.
you know where
I don't
any
know
of
what
them
I would have done. And yeah, obviously I knew where every single one went to school. I host snaps now, okay? Duh.
Tell me.
We just talked about this last night.
Tell me 2 of their names.
Braylon Edwards from South Carolina.
Nope. Braylon Edwards.
And-
Braylon Edwards played at Michigan in the early 2000s. Brian
Yeah, that's
Edwards
exactly
went
what
to
I said.
South Carolina. Yeah.
Brian.
Right,
I
Brian.
said Brian.
No,
His
you didn't.
connection in here can be a
Nope.
little wonky.
You said Braylon. We heard it.
And Raphael Zachariah,
Nope.
who dominated the Saints last year. So you got to watch out for that guy.
Not at all. It's Olamide Zacchaeus was his name, by the way.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. But, he did dominate the Saints last year, okay? So sleep on Olamide at your own risk. That's all I'm saying. And for what it's worth, I did go on Dukes and Bell over there in Atlanta today, and they intimated that they think that Drake London will play. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just passing along the message.
I don't care if he does. He stunk at USC.
I mean, it doesn't matter. The point holds. I mean,
Yeah, they
the Saints should win this for
They should.
sure.
All right,
This would be a very
what are you
positive start to the
doing?
down there.
What are you doing at Don Juan? What are you doing over there?
So there is an excellent cigar tasting going on right now, featuring some tasty Honduran cigars. I'm actually smoking the Asylum right now, and they got the Asylum, they got the CLE, they got the Aroas. But here's some of the deals, just for all the cigar heads out there. You buy 4, you get 1 for free, okay? You buy 10 cigars, you get 3 free cigars and a swag item. They got all kinds of stuff your man cave.
Okay.
You buy a box, you get 15% off the box, 5 free cigars, and 2 swag items. So, look, if you're into cigars, man, 5 to 7, come get ready for the game. You get out of work. It's a good time. The Asylum is light. I think the CLE is kind of like more in the medium. I'm not sure about the Aroa, but this Asylum, if you're worried about smoking something too heavy tonight, this is a tasty little light treat right here, dude.
Okay. I kind of want to come get a box and get my free cigars and then get my swag items. I kind of want to come do that.
I mean, if you're going to get a box, like, obviously now is the time when you get a box for 15% off the 5 free ones, and the items, for sure.
Okay.
So it's a cool time, man. They got just come in, and my boy Hector can run you through whatever questions you have about it.
Don Juan there in Town Center. If you're looking at Whole Foods, just look to the right, and that's where T-Bob's hanging out until 7 o'clock. Who do you think wins tonight, Bills or Rams?
I got the origin story on the tobacco used in the Asylum, and it said that like 80 years ago, the patriarch during the Bay of Pigs scooped up a handful of these like rare tobacco seeds in Cuba and brought them back with him, either to I think it was Honduras or Nicaragua, I can't remember, Honduras, and then grew them there. So I mean, that's the myth, but it's a pretty badass myth, dude.
Cool story. Yeah, I don't know if I believe it, but cool story.
No, but sometimes the truth of a story doesn't matter. It's still awesome.
Yeah, I just need to know if it smokes good. That's all. So,
It does. I can confirm. It smokes delicious.
All right, who do you got
Listen
tonight?
to my voice. Do you hear how relaxed
I've
I
asked
am?
you 3 times. Do you want to make a pick? Who do you like? Do you like the Bills or the Rams? I'm trying to transition to get you out of here so I can go to break and get to Otter Locks.
Bro,
Who do you like?
I don't host an NFL show, dude.
I just asked you for a pick. Who do you like?
I like the Bills. I think Super Bowl defending champs, sucker bet.
All right. Go see T-Bob. He's there until 7 at Don Juan Cigar. Do you want to say it like that one time? Don?
No, but I am worried about no Trey White tonight, so we'll see.
All right. See you later.
Later, bro.
All right. That's T-Bob. He's at Don Juan Cigar Bar. Title sponsor of our Friday shows, by the way. All right. We're going to knock out our final break of the show. Get Otter Locks when we come back. Get a pick on tonight's ball game from the Ott Father. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ITI's got all these programs. Once I started and learned everything about the school, it was worth it.
The challenges that ITI presented me with, it allowed me to build myself up.
All because of ITI, I actually was able to get a job within 3 months before graduation in my field.
Get the hands-on training you need for the job you've always wanted. With so many companies hiring right now, it's the perfect time to come to ITI Technical College. Enroll today for a better life.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local
after further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Thursday edition of AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight, although we already know. It's time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
Well, so we turn to the one and only, the incomparable, often incomprehensible, the Outfather himself, Jimmy Ott. And you know you're living good when you hit a 2-team parlay, when you need a 5-run ninth, but it comes through, and then you win your other game in the 10th in walk-off fashion to catch that ticket. That's what happened last night. Good night for the Otter, who joins us now. Otter, how are you?
Yeah, it makes up for losing that 5-run lead the night before with Arizona.
All evens out. All evens out.
How do you know which game I'm betting on? You know I'm going to looking at this WNBA Las Vegas Aces, huh?
Winner goes to the finals. Is that right?
I think they clinched last night, actually. Alcaraz, maybe a little U.S. Open, women's semifinals tonight.
I'm going to go ahead and guess that we got a little action tonight on the National Football League.
Yes, we do.
All right.
And so this is the theme this weekend. And I think, Charlie, you said it on your show earlier today, this is a Super Bowl era record, opening week, and home dogs.
Woo!
So, Hanny Tom, MC Hanny is on noon to 1 every day.
Hanny.
Parachute pants and a pullover in the Eagler studio. So, we're going with the home picker, okay? And I'm going to have some bad teams this weekend, but it is just, I'm looking at the splits right now from Bet Rivers, and it's not so much they're backing a lot of the big teams, but they're fading the Texans, they're fading the Jets, they're fading the Bears, they're fading the Lions. So I think I'm going to be fading the Seattle Seahawks, all home dogs, and I think I'm going to be pulling for the lower end. But this is the first week. This is where you have the least amount of injuries, full rosters, and it's just the big numbers are they're not common. And so this many road favorites is it's a record in the Super Bowl era. So let's see, I'll be 50. I'm going to be 56 or 57 this year. I'm not sure. But anyway, that means it'll be Super Bowl 57 next year. So 57 years of doing this, Matthew. Hey, I do want to note in Major League Baseball, the Nationals, and they played the Cardinals and the Mets the last 8 games. They won 5 out of 8, plus 960 on the ROI. You bet $100 every time ROI. They are a team that's a lot of value right now. I know it's deep in it's usually not when we're betting those kind of teams. Teams are out of it. I'm even listening to St. Louis's broadcast, and they're talking about it today, how, man, they're just not striking out. They're putting the ball in play. In this era for swing for the fences only, they're grinding right now, man. And they're putting up runs. They put up double-digit runs again today. So kind of a sneaky little team to kind of back right now as they're playing way higher than their power value.
Okay. Hey, Otter, I'm sorry, I missed it. Are you taking the Bills or the Rams tonight?
Taking a home dog. I'm taking the Rams.
You're taking the Rams. Are you taking a money line play on the Rams, or are you going to play the 2.5?
Oh, that's your sponsor that's got a promo going. If you get up by 7 points on a money line play at any time of the game, it's considered a winner.
That is absolutely true. That would be at DraftKings, by the way. But are you playing the money line, or are you playing the spread?
I'm playing the spread.
Are you going to play the 2.5? Okay.
Yeah, I do like a teaser also. I'll give out Jonathan Von Tobel of Beeson on our podcast earlier today. She hooked it up with the Minnesota plus 8.5. Teasing over those two key numbers of 3 and 7 in both cases.
God, dog. Do you any feeling on the total in this ball game?
I'm an under player, but
Me too.
not really. New offensive coordinator for one team, new left tackle for the other. It usually starts out a little slower, but are they going to have this emphasis on this, illegal contact? Are we going to see, a couple of drives sustained because of a third down illegal contact that really doesn't, affect the play? So how much they'll focus on that, I don't know. The COVID years, games were going over by 20 points. Normally, early in the season, it's sort of an underplay. Yeah. So got to see how they play it. But if I had to, it'd be an under.
All right, Game Time with Jimmy Ott follows us in Baton Rouge. Otter, you over at Jolie Pearl?
Yeah, we got Supreme Rice. There's giveaways, and then there's giving away rice. We got 2-pound bags of jasmine rice. We got 5-pound bags of rice. First one here, Sheila Rat, he got his Triplett large T-shirt, so in a couple of bags of rice. So we got Ellen Dietrich, our sales rep, is over here. We got a nice crowd. We got some reps from Supreme Rice, and we're ready for some football.
All right, Otter, have a great show. Enjoy the game, man.
1 minute remaining.
All right, that is Jimmy Ott. Game Time with Jimmy Ott follows us in Baton Rouge. If you're not in Baton Rouge, online at 1045ESPN.com. A lot going on. Jimmy and Hannah, you're over at Jolie Pearl. T-Bob is at Don Juan. Of course, you can always get by Pluckers. Great spots all over town to watch tonight. Love telling you about our friends over at Schutz Electric, CESofLA.com. Automatic home standby generators. When the power goes out, your generator from Schutz goes to work. This is, I'm telling you, it's more affordable than you think. Financing is available. The customer service experience is incredible. 24/7, 365 support because power outages are not a 9-to-5 thing. Experience Schutz Electric. Call and get that estimate. CESofLA.com. CESofLA.com. Muse, what'd you learn?
RC had people worried on Twitter Sunday night.
Paulie, what did you learn today?
Michael Thomas wants to top 2019.
What did you learn, Matt?
Muse has no idea where any Falcons receivers played college football. We'll see you tomorrow.
AFR.
All right, y'all, we're getting on down the road. Want to remind you about Mold Zero USA. Mold-Zero, Zero, USA.com. Mold-Zero-USA.com. If you think you might have an issue with mold, or if you know you have an issue with mold in your home or in your office, that can be dangerous. Let Mold Zero help. If it's mold, if it's odor in your home, office, your place of business, Mold Zero can help. Mold Zero services the entire greater Baton Rouge and greater New Orleans areas. So go to the website, mold-zerousa.com, and at the top of the homepage, you're going to see the phone number for either New Orleans or Baton Rouge. Again, mold-zerousa.com. Mold Zero uses a patented, non-toxic dry fog treatment process. This is minimally invasive for you and your family and totally safe and 100% effective. It's Mold Zero. Mold-Zero-USA.com.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday,